Hello and welcome to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So, we're in middle of West, the cast of Sanctuary, and we need to explore this place.
You want it done right.
Oh, I do. I really do. This place is, yeah, stands out. So the cast-offs are hiding here because they are big pussies and hiding from the sorrow.
Alright.
And I suppose I need to talk to most of them. Let's talk to Shy.
You've got it.
Kind of has a desire to just to run around first. I understand wanting to avoid the sorrow, but the folks who live here never live, you know. Yeah. It looks dark and cool inside this living structure. Unfortunately, the door is locked.
Here we go then.
Here we go then. Alright.
Yes.
I shouldn't talk to him. I should. So, yeah, that's the feeling I got. I mean, like, these people are just hiding here. Obviously, we learned that some cast-offs are just really in for the fight. Like Shy. The slim cast-off looks to be in his late teens. He carries an odd-looking device that resembles a scorched circle, and it's not hard to draw the connections between it and the red mark of a recent injury that travels along his forehead and under his hair. The man seems confused, hesitant, as if he has so many questions that he isn't sure which to ask first. I want to ask, I'm not sure. He gives a shaky smile. I want to ask you a lot, we all do. Me? About him? No, something he did? Maybe yes. Matkina studies his face and comes to a conclusion. I don't know him. He mutters to you. He's a newer cast-off, at least within the last century. It looks like he's been worse used than all the rest of us. What kind of questions did you have for me? You forced your way through our portal? It kept us safe from the sorrow. Now it's open. He swallows, eyeing you reproachfully. Carefully, you feel a stirring of forces around you. The portal was closed for a reason. He blurts, avoiding your gaze. You had to know that, but why weren't you more careful? You need to tell me how bad it is, and I need the truth. He says, raising his eyes again. Have you seen it? Have you seen the sorrow? Nope. I'm gonna lie to him. Alright, he says, relaxing a little. Alright, maybe we still have some time. Now listen, he says, blinking hard. This is even more important. Have you abused the tides to change things? To influence people? Why is it a lie? No, not ever. Did I do that? I mean, like, I did that to influence people. No, not ever. He searches your eyes and is satisfied. Good. Every use of our power draws it like a fire in the sky. It does? You should leave, he says, but there is no heat in his words. Maybe we'll follow you and leave us alone. I just lied to you that I never saw it and I didn't use my tidal powers. And you still think I'm too dangerous? His trembling hand seeks the red wound at his hairline. Did you want to ask me more questions? No, I don't. No, I don't. He avoids your eyes. You should go. Go before it comes for us all. What did you mean when you said we? He blinks hard at your question, twisting the blackened circlet through his hands. I almost fought in this battle, found this in a giant clay hand, trapped in a half-shattered block of stone. I took it. He shakes his head as if denying the memory itself. Put it on! The circuit spins through his hands faster and faster. I saw darkness. No, I was inside the owner of that hand. Clay automaton, imprisoned. No, I could control it. Oh, I did. Broke it free from the stone, used it in service for our sire for many years, though thought of it as my armor. He blinks hard again, like a man trying to dislodge a thought with his eyelids alone. Then a war construct collapsed on the automaton, crushed it, and the crown burned. I remember screaming, then hundred voices in my head, arguing with each other, shouting, fighting. Another hard blink. The automaton wasn't armor. It was a container for gods. What do you mean, container for gods? My armor was not a tool. It was a locked chest with a hole inside, a deep hole full of terrible gods. He shuts his mouth and he says no more on the subject. You should be glad you're still alive. Oh, look on the bright side, mate! I wish I could help you, but nah. Do I really care? Not really. You should be glad you're still alive. I am, he says, grimacing. I am. What was the end of this battle like?
Making a note.
He shudders. We were killed. The dead crept into my mind. They told me to kill more, and I did because that's what we do. It's in our nature, you know. We are worse than animals, cast off humans, whether created or evolved. We are all inclined to conflict. Farewell. I don't know, I just felt like...
Happy to help.
I don't know. Maybe I could help him. Should I just find that out? What do you think? It's in your head again? Gods, he says. Many arguing. So, it's not even an option.
All right.
So he just went crazy. Or possibly he just, I don't know.
Yes.
Ideas? Well, I kind of have the
Updated my journal.
experience of others as well. Whoa! Someone really blue? Coming in? And that's just... Okay, hey, see you later. Anyway. Adiris, even among all your siblings in Mielavest, this woman is remarkably beautiful. Clad in a robe of myriad colors, she carries herself with a distinct grace and ease. Her skin is dark brown, her hair is rippling, a midnight black. Her violet eyes blaze momentarily as you approach, and she holds up her hand. Her voice is musical and sweet. You're welcome here, brother. I'm Adiris. I'm the peacekeeper of Mielavest. Okay, I'm trying. I can't do musical and sweet woman voice. Words of your birth and exploits have reached us here already. She smiles. News travel fast in the casted world. I'm sure you've already seen. I know your desire to speak to Mazov. I've even heard the rumor that you can alter the past and you restored Matkina. This is strange to me, for I have two memories on the subject. One in which Matkina is whole, as we all know her now, and another in which her mind is incomplete. Perhaps my mind is the one that's incomplete. I remember it, Adaris. The attack on Colne Village, where Pi destroyed my friends. You remember that? In another timeline, Dash used his mind wipe on Hime. He filled my mind with holes so I wouldn't remember, and he ruined my life. I'll tell you that my memory of that time has changed. I'm whole again. Ideris trusts only the new reality that actually makes me feel less insane. Adaris raises an eyebrow. But how do I know that our newest member hasn't simply used a different form of mind control to give you false memories? I have a Mircaster here in which Mazov is set to appear, but I do not wish to expose him to the dangers of an untested psychic. She faces you fully. I have some limited psychic ability myself. If our new friend will allow me, I would examine your mind for the truth. You don't need to probe my mind, it's the truth. I can change reality by using Mircasters. She gives you a smile that on anyone else would be patronizing, but on her looks genuinely sympathetic. I hope you will understand that our kind especially enjoys embellishing the truth. I won't be satisfied until I see for myself. She puts a hand on her hip. I would never do such a thing without your permission, of course, but examining your mind is the only way I can be certain. If you must, don't probe too deeply. This will take but a moment. She places gentle fingers on your forehead and you feel a swirl of color thrill your innermost core. A kaleidoscope of emotion shakes you. Gamut of experiences recognized and echoed, magnified and reflected. When she moves her head, her eyes are wet with tears. Forgive my doubt, brother. I believe you now. I believe you are capable of changing reality. Why would I, sire, have given him this ability? A side effect, perhaps, or... I don't know. But it's definitely helpful. But I was thinking about, what if I couldn't do it? It would be interesting to see how would Matkina behave if that wasn't the case, because that looked to be a hard, looked to be a tough situation, because I'm pretty sure that I depleted my intelligence and my speed in that text adventure of sort, and I could have easily failed that one, but I didn't.
Making a note.
She holds up a slender finger. But if anything, this makes me more leery of handing you a brother's Mircaster. If you wish to speak to Mezov, you must prove to me that you can be entrusted with the minds of one of our brethren. You cured Matkina, but did you understand Tash? Did you take care of his innermost self as well? Before I can give you this Mircaster, I would have you speak with Malmot, Leviarm. It is my contentation that we draw the sorrow to us with our abuse of tides, which is why I do not use our tidal powers. I believe our use of these powers is inherently painful to those around us. For instance, was anyone with you when you awoke to consciousness? Yeah, 2 people. An Aeon priest named Allegern and a nano called Calistige. They were arguing as I woke. I'd wager any simmering tensions snapped into sharp focus. If they were lovers, for example, they might have fallen deep into love's spell, but if they were breaking apart, your blast of tidal energy would have riven them, destroyed their relationship. Whoa. Okay. That is possibly true. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Well, that is you could be just making it up, but I suppose, because it feels odd that they hated each other so much, but they were still lovers, and exactly when I came down and they found me, they got into such a fight that in like 5 minutes they were splitting up. She pauses and you feel the tickle of her mind on yours. What happened? That's what happened, isn't it? They were not arguing for nothing. Go see Mamat. Ask him about the tides. When you've done that, we will speak further. So, this will possibly have an impact on how I play? Should I just not use the tides? Will you give me the Mircaster after that? Perhaps, eventually. I must know that you will take responsibility when you hold Zerian's life, his history, in your hands. You will not have the Mircaster until I'm satisfied. I'll do it. I want to ask some questions first. Naturally. Hold on a moment. You seem like a fair-minded person. The others here seem to defer to you. So let me ask, if the changing god was here right now, what would you say to him? What would you do to him? I'll tell him what he has wrought in our persons. I'd ask him why he encourages strife, or I'd engage him in a discussion about mortality. He smiles a little. But tell me, mortal man, why is it truly you want? What is it you truly want to say? I want justice, and I don't know how to get it. Your creator, the changing god, he was responsible for what happened to my village. Wait, what? How was the changing god responsible? Why haven't you told me this before? I did, at the monument. I just didn't tell you it was the changing god who was responsible. He looks down at his boots. Back in Ormond, when I was a Deoin priest for my LDA, I found a frame, a black metal piece. I was looking it over in my workshop, trying to figure out what to do with it. Traveler came through my town. He looked a lot like you, actually, though without the burn scar or the visible tattoo. If you're not the changing god, then it was your creator in your body who told me to activate the frame. And how? Then he left town. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but... he scratches his arm. Well, I activated the frame. Black monster spilled all tooth and claw. I got knocked out. When I woke, everyone was gone. No trace. The only thing that was different, the monsters scared me. Their attack left tattoos all up and down my arms. A poison that whispers in my mind. A constant reminder that I failed everyone I ever loved. That was the changing god's gift to me. I loaded the frame, took it to Sagas Cliffs. Ort Fong promised to help me. He found out he could hold it down, but that's as far as we ever got. Never even figured out who made it or why. And in the meantime, I've been looking for the changing god, trying to find out what he knows. Why did he have me activate the frame? What happened to my family? And if I don't like the answers... His smile is grim and deadly, and his tattoos hum and hiss with power. I'll help you find out what the truth is, Algerd. Sure you will. Darius holds a hand to... What? What? Darius holds a hand to his face, and he stills. Algerd, what's past is past. Do you want aid? Do you want answers? Because if you do, your companion here is the one who will guide you to them. If you let your rage blind you and poison you, you will never find the truth. Look to the future and, well, do not forget the past. Never that. Let the past guide you, but do not let it poison you. She steps back. Here, a gift of knowledge for you. One of the blessings, or curses perhaps, is that as cast-offs we can, on occasion, find flashes of our Creator's memories inside our bodies. Should you find the frame that was the cause of your miseries, our friend might be able to shake a loose memory from our sire. I don't guarantee its success, but... She studies you for a moment. If the changing god, the damage from the fall... If this is the changing god, the damage from the fall has done significant harm. Your best hope is to travel with him. Perhaps you can find the answers you seek, but I pray you find peace in your heart. As she speaks, you can feel the tides roll gently off of her, softening the walls Algerd has constructed in his mind. Algerd looks skeptical. I'll try. No guarantees. That's all anyone can ask. Now, do either of you have any business with me? Where's Mazov? You mean physically? That I do not know. He was captured by the Kibra of Mirajolios several years ago, a prisoner for the Megarine. But no one knows what became of him after that. It will be very difficult to find outside the Mircaster, but you will have to convince me you are ready to take over a brother's life first. Tell me about yourself. I keep the piece here in Mielavest. Our sire brought the jagged dream to Sagus Cliffs in my body. Did you know that? She shakes her head. The conflict they seek to start, the wars, I swore that I would make no deaths in my lifetime, bring no pain. I came here in the wake of the first death, and her loyalists were at the throats of our sires. I brought peace to them. They agreed we would make Mielavest a sanctuary again. That is my achievement, my legacy. Why would you feel guilty about our sire bringing the jagged dream to Sagus Cliffs? It wasn't you. True, and yet the jagged dream knew me under a name and history that wasn't my own. The killers, the haters, the one who wanted to see blood and death, they would tell me of their schemes. They wanted my approval and any action on my part. They took as such. She stares down at her hands. I have never taken a life, but blood stains me. I can't feel that again, ever. You brought the jagged dream using my body. I can't be sure it wasn't me. I see. So the changing god was in her body when he did those atrocities, and possibly was some kind of a crime lord, possibly the Memovira. Who put you in charge of Mielavest? Why, nobody did. I saw the need and forged the peace myself. I saw a path to avoid the bloodshed, and I set my feet upon it, with my end goal in mind. Those who would oppose me saw that I had set my ideals and would not deviate from them. And since my plan did not involve exalting myself over them, did not put them at a disadvantage, who could say no? Indeed, I am in charge only so far as they allow it. They are the ones who enforce the peace. I just speak of it. I have other questions, if you have any other answers. I'd like to ask some questions about, well, cast-offs and all that entails. Of course. Can you tell me about the cast-offs here? She spreads her hands in regret. Ordinarily, we see more activity here, and we would perhaps have prepared a homecoming for you, but rumor has convinced many that the sorrow has been more active of late. To ease their minds, I offered a vote to close the portals into the sanctuary. But I digress. The current guests include Chalcedon, Lady Ans, Alkashai, Andronos, Raima, Melmoth, and I suppose you've just missed my friend Pi. So if you joined me in voting against it, I underestimated how afraid they all are. The Chalcedon commands our creator's forces in the endless battle. He's a true believer. A tightly wound man, but brilliant. Lady Ansi brings her trinkets from all over her mercantile empire. Poor Alexei has been badly treated by the world. Perhaps you could have a word or two with him. Andros is, well, his best quality is that he's loyal to Pi. Perhaps I should, I say to the memory of the first. But he's also volatile and argumentative, and he's devoted to his centuries to fighting. You'll likely find him sparring verbally with Raima, whose devotion to the ideals of our sire is the equal of his. He smiles a bit. And then my friend Melmoth, the leader of the Dendraur. He's quite a charmer. Speak to him, you'll see. What can you tell me about the cast-offs who aren't here? Small Brown crosses her mouth, a minute wrinkle in her brow. Our creator chose to live a bountiful life, and he has brought hundreds into the world. He has explored many forms, shapes, and sizes, and he has led some of our kin through time-twisting loops. I do not know all their names, but I hope that I might one day befriend them, even those who have been twisted into savagery. Even if I knew them all, I would not divulge their secrets, just as I would not divulge yours. She smiles gently to take the sting from the rebuke. What can you tell me about the sorrow? I know little. Nothing about where it came from, nor its purpose, nor its true desires, apart from seeing us all dead. She closes her eyes. None of us do, though. Some of us have devoted centuries to trying to understand. Indeed, the creation of Mila Vest was intended for that purpose. But the first and the changing gods grew complacent, and they grew possessive, and then the endless battle. She sighs and opens her eyes. Sometimes I feel that the sorrow must haunt us because so many of us are so very disagreeable. But in truth, I believe the sorrow haunts us because of something to do with the tides. Our unique powers tied to the tides must summon it. I have not seen the sorrow track other living beings, nor had heard of it in any context but the cast-off situation. It must be the tides. It must. What can you tell me about Mila Vest? The name comes from a language predating our creator. It means Stone of Wonders. He and the first created our sanctuary jointly, sitting on the plateau because the device they found here proved uniquely suited to creating a sanctuary and to the power the shields that protect us. They brought more of us here. Our elders hid from the sorrow or retreated here from the cares of the world. They built homes, laboratories and more. The shields protected them from the sorrow's gaze. But when the first and the changing gods struggled, all that fell apart. The peace of Mila Vest was shattered, and those who remained chose sides. Blood spilled on the great disk. Factions fought for control of the wisdom gained here. She shakes her head. Such a waste. It was not until after the first deaths and my arrival that we were able to resecure peace. And so we once again have a sanctuary for any cast-off. She looks sidelong at your companions and their occasional guests. Would that we had not closed the doorways though? Whether the sorrow is truly more active or not, there are undoubtedly others who would wish to find safety here. She shakes her head. I accept the responsibility for the closure. Those who choose to leave have left, and I wish the rest safety. What can you tell me about the first cast-off? She died a few years after I was born. A pity. I wish I could have spoken with her, to understand her drive and passion. She honestly thought the world would serve us all. Sometimes I ask myself what she might do in a situation when two of our brothers are fighting. She shrugs, and then I remember that so many of them have died fighting in her war, and my respect vanishes. I would have loved to speak with her, help her find another way. Alas. Can you tell me anything more about the first cast-offs? She was driven, ambitious and strong, but she cared deeply for us all. But her hatred obscured the bonds between us, and she drove us into war. Let's talk about the changing god. What do you think about him? Have you seen him? Do you know where he is? That's quite a list. Which would you prefer to address first? Have you seen him recently? Huh. Never, to my knowledge. Perhaps I have, and he never revealed himself. It would be very like him to gather his intelligence and then be away. We regard every new cast-off with the suspicion that he or she might truly be our creator. And frequently, a new cast-off will pretend to be. But we find the truth, one way or another, and our sire continues to live in a way that we do not fully understand. To be clear, you really haven't seen the changing god recently? I do not believe so, no. What do you think of our creator? A brilliant man, thoughtful, charismatic, a mind greater than any the Ninth World has seen. Where the Aeon priests of today cobbled together bits and pieces of Numenera, our creator was a visionary. Were it not for the sorrow, I honestly believe that he would lift us into a new age of human achievement. She shrugs. He has also systematically destroyed every relationship he ever built. He does not seem to understand human frailty or emotion. No, let me rephrase that. He understands those things well enough to exploit them in others, but does not accept their reality. If you understand what I mean. More plainly, he is a selfish man who grows ever more disconnected with his inferiors every year. He purses her lips. Life is a tragedy, it truly is. Now, what do you know of his history? Much of it he has deliberately obscured, and much he has rewritten. Either that to make himself seem a better man, or to keep his enemies from fighting him. But I can provide you with the broad strokes if you wish. She closes her eyes, recalling. He saved the city of Sagasclips from the Tabat, and it was after their siege that he focused so heavily on mental transference techniques. Though we do not know why he was successful in these attempts, obviously, and this is the first record we have of the sorrow in modern times. He taps her fingers on her lips. He traveled to another world or dimension, and I've heard that this is where the first was born. His studies in the tides ran deep. He claimed to have spent lifetimes exploring them, and when he had mastered them, he destroyed the Tabat utterly. He brought the Order of Truth to Sagas Cliffs and sought to keep knowledge alive by creating the Dendrahur. Life has been about the creation or preservation of wisdom. She shakes her head. But to what end? There seems to be no pattern or goal. He does not seem to build for humanity, but for his own legacy. Should we emulate this? I have other questions. Actually, nothing. We talked for a long time, Adiris.
You've got it.
I just run over there. Strange burbling noise emanates from deep within this device. It looks out over the valley like a guardian.
On my way.
Lady Anse. The wind around the structure is oddly moist, and there is a smell you can't identify, an unfamiliar meat perhaps, spoiling in sunlight. There is something else, an acrid, silent tingling hanging in the air, the feeling of power, held in reserve. Examine the structure. You reach out to touch the sloping side, but hesitate, strange. The surface is smooth, inviting even, and yet your instincts tell you that something within the structure wants you to touch it, to come inside, to yield and fall to the earth, exposing your softest parts to. You stumble back, shaking your head. Yeah, you don't want to do that. None of us are sure what it is, or why they first left it behind. I think it's a last-ditch defense against the sorrow if everything else fails. I'll just say different. She snorts. Feels nasty enough, doesn't it? Okay, walk away. Walk away, you crazy person. Look at this, the woman declares. A wayward brother, in the flesh. She spreads her slender hands, delicate spider webs of metal thread run through her fingers, stubbed with circular nodes that look too purposeful to be mere jewelry. The name's Ash. Lady Anse, but don't let that scare you off. I sell a rare Numenera and a place to rest at a fair price. I can also upgrade certain clothing and equipment, but that's a bit more expensive. She gives you an assessing eye. This one will have spending money, I hope. Take a look at what I got, she adds more quietly. My prices are high, but you look like someone who values your friends, and my work will keep them safe. She claps her ornamented hands together with a clink. So, what do you need? Do you get a lot of business in Mila West? Well, put it like that, no. She says, grinning, and it's not normally me doing the selling, not like I used to. In normal times, I'm treating major customers to fancy dinners, yelling at my advisors, and sneaking in the odd bespoke order before more paperwork lands on my desk. She shrugs. But these ain't normal times. People are saying the sorrow's on the hunt again. I don't know if it's true, but better safe than sorry. So instead of passing the time, arguing like everyone else around here, I'm back to being a humble merchant. She winks. For now. My little empire can run itself for a while. I'll be back soon. You must do quite a lot of business with the endless battle ongoing.
Updated my journal.
I don't know, he says carefully. I don't take sides or opinions on that conflict. Bad for business. Besides. Right. Being a weapon merchant is really good for business, right? Your name is Lady Anshi. Are you royalty? Only in a technical sense. A few years back I did a favor for the type of person who can spin titles out of thin air. I told her I only wanted the money, but she insisted. She shrugs. So Lady Anshi, it's opened a few stubborn doors over the years, but other than that, I don't wave it around much. You don't seem upset that I opened the portal into Miala West. That's because closing it wasn't necessary to begin with. The shields are good enough. She rolls her eyes. Our brothers and sisters worry too much. Must run in the family. What are those wires all over your hands? Inventions of mine. Cobbled together from parts of course. Like everything, these beauties are wired. Well, not really, but you know, into my head. I use them to build and fix things that are really, really small. She beams at her hands. I've had them almost as long as I've been alive. I need a place to rest. Can I take a look at your Numenera? Alright, he says. It'll cost you 110 shins. You get the rest. You get the best rest of your life here. Promise. The sorrow can't track you when you bed down here. Now, I kind of have a problem with that. I just getting the feeling that the reason why I'm paying for this rest, because obviously refreshing your stats is valuable, but like, come on, this is the cast off sanctuary. I still need to pay you 110 shins. I don't even have money for like 5 sleeps. Never mind. A wise move. I don't sleep if I can help it either. Too much to do, you know. Well, I don't sleep if it's cost me my fortune. Can I take a look at your Numenera? Sure. Look all you want. You have anything good? What the hell? Exuvia, living Exuvia, medium armor. I might check it out later. You have anything else? How about the upgrades? Sure thing. But in case I wasn't clear, I can't do much with what you're wearing. It's pretty good as it is. She scratches her chin. Your friends, on the other hand, I can help. Who needs work done? Artis. I don't need upgrades. Artis declares, outraged. He immediately falters. Do I? You might. And she says, frowning as she examines your companion. Let me take a look at your doublet and the undershirt. I could do something with his slits, probably Possibly slits. Maybe vents. She folds her arms. 75 shins and we're square. Do it! Let's improve Ertis' clothing. Good! Ah, damn it. Good! Lacing her wire-strung fingers together. Hold still, please. Oh. Do I have to? Ertis says, but he offers you a smile as the threads of his clothes begin moving of their own accord. Thank you, friend! After a few minutes, she claps her hands. None? Anyone else? Alligator needs it too. You're trying to tell me something, kid? Probably, and she grins, eyeing your companion. I could shore up your vest and coat, maybe add some lining of my own design. I'll run you 65 shins. Let's shore up Alligator's vest and coat. Sure thing, she says, raising her hands. The nodes on her palm light up one by one, projecting tiny pricklings of light onto Alligator's chest. Alligator eyes them uneasily as they race about, altering his equipment, but nods at you. Good of you, kid. I was due for some repairs. After a few minutes, Lady Ash drops her hands. Done and done. Anyone else? Matkina needs it too. Why? Matkina says, giving you a suspicious look. I'm fine. Everything I own is fine. There's nothing wrong with a little tinkering, sister. And she says smoothly, in the right places I could fortify your hauberk. Nothing major, and possibly add some shielding elements to your cloak. Shouldn't cost more than 60 shins. Let's do it. Let's fortify Matkina's hauberk and improve her cloak. Gladly. And she says, rotating a pulsing node on her thumb and stretching her hands to get toward Matkina. Matkina twitches and glares at you as her armor remakes itself. If this kills me somehow, I'll find a way to take you with me. She bites her lip. And thanks. Thank you. After a few moments, as she grimaces and flexes her thumbs. Done? Anyone else? No, let's talk about something else. No, I think we're good here. Not a problem. Ertis is double. Oh. That looks like it's a big upgrade. I have to go. Take care of yourself. You too, brother.
Let's go.
Mammoth Leviarm. Chalcedon. I left a lot of guys in the middle that I didn't explore.
I am the very soul of action.
Are you? Anyhow, I believe this is a good time to take a break, so hope you guys had fun. Tell me if you did, and see you around. And have a good one.